What's up, Sneaky Nation? Sneaky P here, back with all the news after week 3 of the preseason and year number 5 of our Columbus Aviators franchise, where the Aviators picked up another victory, this time against the Washington Redskins. In week 4, we got the Atlanta Falcons. They are 0-3 in the preseason right now. We know they no longer have Matt Ryan, so it's going to be interesting to see how things are shaking up in Atlanta. Clearly, it's not working out for them right now, but the Aviators definitely looking like the team to beat. Granted, it's only preseason. We really don't take a whole lot from it. Our starters are only playing one quarter, 8 minutes. But it's good to see. You know, we're coming off the Super Bowl win. We're trying to defend our championship, and it's a good start. You couldn't really ask for a better start. Now, unfortunately, we are going to have to cut 3 players here. And this is where things get a little tricky. You know, we really like the players that we have, and we don't really want to cut anybody. Somebody on the chopping block is unfortunately Ja'Tyrion Russell. We liked him quite a bit last year, but by picking up Rodman Scott, I don't really know that Russell's going to see any playing time. Scott looks like the real deal. We have too many wide receivers here, and we might have to, we can't carry this many wide receivers in. And unfortunately, it's looking like Chris Owusu might be on the chopping block if we can't figure things out. I kind of like the tight ends that I have. I know 3 might be a little too many, but we feel comfortable with the guys that we have there. Our depth on the offensive line is fine. Kenneth Jackson's a player that I like quite a bit. Rodgers might be somebody that could potentially go. He played pretty well during the Super Bowl, though. But out of all my defensive linemen, he's kind of the one I'm most willing to move on from. I don't know, man. It's just a difficult situation. We really like all the players on this team. We feel like they've all contributed quite a lot for us. And losing any of them is not ideal. I think Fleming might be one of the players that has to go. I just have too much depth at safety with Ramorius Culliver, Jabbar Jordan, both players I like, Trenton McKnight, and Jamarian Walker, again, more players that I like. Let's go ahead and check out his stats, though, just to make sure we are making a right decision here. And he's really not far off from Walker. And he has 81 catch. His speed's not great. It's actually better than Walker's, though. This is such a difficult choice. Such a difficult choice. Overall, though, I mean, Walker has a better overall rating, and his awareness is lower, too. I think Walker's the better player. But Fleming might be a guy worth keeping around just to kind of see what happens. Again, it's just a difficult situation. I don't know where to go. Unfortunately, I think Ja'Tyrion Russell is going to have to be one of the cuts. I don't want to do it. I like him a lot. But by picking up Rodman Scott, I mean, we just don't need him. Rodman Scott's looking like the real deal. He struggled a little bit in week 3 of the preseason, but I've seen a lot from him so far, and I really like what he's given us. It's down between Derek Fitzgerald and Chris Owusu. Owusu's kind of a fan favorite, but Fitzgerald's probably the better player, unfortunately, for Owusu. Owusu does have a much better release. They both have good jump. They both, well, I don't know, man. Owusu's more of a burner. And to be quite honest, when it comes down to it, that is the only role I need from that depth position, is the ability to just burn down the field. I don't typically use these guys a whole lot, but when I do, it's usually on just go routes and see what happens. And in that situation, Owusu would be the better player for us. If I'm thinking of it situationally, I mean, I like Fitzgerald. He's got that height, for sure. He's got a lot of height to him. But I don't like his speed. I mean, my entire offense is built off having receivers that can get down the field quickly. You know what? It's not even a huge thing. They're not going to see a whole lot of time if we're being honest. I mean, look at all the people ahead of them. And they're all burners. And quite a few of them have some height, too. So the height for Fitzgerald's really not all that great. I think what we're going to do is keep Owusu here. I like having that speed. I like Derek Fitzgerald quite a lot. And it might come back to a point where Owusu might get cut as well, and we move forward with these guys. Because 6 is plenty of wide receivers, I feel like. So I guess it's between Owusu and Fleming. I don't know that Fleming's going to see a whole lot of time, but neither would Owusu. Fleming at least has some potential to him. Fleming at least has potential, but I don't know where he fits in. The logical thing's probably to cut Chris Owusu, unfortunately. As much as I love Owusu. The fan favorite. Oh, we're going to take a penalty if we cut him, though. I mean, it's not much of a penalty. Let's see if we would take one over here. We take a penalty either way. We actually take more of one with him. Oh, man. This sucks, dude. I love Chris Owusu, but I think it's what we got to do. I think it's what we have to do. Maybe we'll get into a situation where we can pick him up later if somebody goes down with an injury. But right now, I think this is going to be the move that has to be made, unfortunately. Oh, man. I'm so sorry. Forgive me, Owusu. Forgive me. I love Chris Owusu. That's a difficult call to make, but unfortunately, we had to cut. Like, I seriously like every player on our roster. There's not a single player I don't like, and that's what I love about this team, you know. I do feel that connection with every single player. And Owusu's got that emotional attachment from series past, but it's still a bummer. All right, who are we playing? The Falcons? Couldn't remember at first. So Adrian Patrick is going to be their quarterback. Austin Davis behind him. Kirk Cousins there as well. Brandon Bolden at running back with Latirius Gray backing him up at fullback. Lex Hilliard. Looks like they might have an injury over here. And they do. Christine Michaels going to be down. Wide receiver Julio Jones. Aaron Graves. Seeley Duncan. Jamirian Benz and Jordan Peterson. At tight end, they have Scott Chandler and Mark Hill. Go through their offensive line really quick. Not a great team. This is one of the teams that I don't see doing very well. I see why they're 0-3 in the preseason, and granted, I mean, their starters aren't that great. Brian Arakpo's a good player for them. They have Earl Mitchell there. Vic Beasley Jr. hasn't quite developed the way they were hoping to, though. Odrick here with Akeem Spence. Here is Cedric Carroll, left outside linebacker Sean Weatherspoon, and Sam Acho. And Brooks Reed. Just not a very good team here. I would anticipate them having one of the higher picks in the draft. I could be wrong. I'm not really seeing a standout rookie that they have on this roster, which is kind of odd. You would think they probably didn't do too well last year. But maybe they just lost a lot of key players. I don't know. They're definitely not looking like one of the better teams that we've seen, though. It's going to be an interesting one, guys. Week 4 of the preseason. We are concluding it here. Guys, thank you all so much for watching this episode. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in week 4. Later.